but you're right.
No, I'm just
no, but Neil, the point
He's trying to clown you, but he's like, no, you're right.
I agree with you.
Okay.
As a newer sales leader, I did.
Yeah.
Then when I learned, we built a 40,000 insurance agency company nationwide, and I'm the founder of it. So I learned how to lock onto the right people. Here's a question for you. So what should be the key indicator, maybe 2 or 3 indicators to say this 16-year-old kid, this 14-year-old kid, this 17-year-old kid could one day do something very big in their lives, or is it too early to tell?
It could surely be too early to tell, which is why you always want to present opportunities
could one
to people throughout their lives to see if they'll jump on them, modify them, make them fit their lives. All I will say is, when assessing the promise and performance of a student, you need to look at more than their
very
GPA.
big in their life.
I don't mind
or is
standardized
too early to
exams.
tell?
I don't mind you want to give somebody an IQ test. I don't have a probably be too early to tell with a test. But the moment you administer a test and then use that exempt opportunity, they didn't score high enough their lives to see if they'll jump on them above some threshold that you have cut off, and only then do you give them opportunities. This is using educational systems against the progress of students rather than for them. When I was in 6th grade, that was still contained in an elementary school, I was not in what they called the smartest class. They were identified by the system, and they took French. They took a foreign language. And I said, well, why can't I take a foreign language? Well, you don't belong in that class. Okay. You got to go in the second class. And they were given opportunities that I really wanted to have. And I was denied it because some educational construct declared that I was unworthy of it. And so that I've been thinking about that ever since, because I was already ambitious as a kid.
In the late 1600s, William Herschel, who is a famous British astronomer, had the biggest telescope in the land. He's combing the sky, just looking for stuff. Finds a planet. Actually, no one had ever discovered a planet before. So he was in denial that he had discovered a planet. So you read his notes, and he says, and other people's notes about it, it says, this is he thought he discovered a comet. Fine, because he saw it move against the background. People knew about comets. You could find those, but you're not going to discover another planet. This has been, if there was a planet, all right? You're not going to discover a planet with your telescope. So you read his writings, and it says, a peculiar comet this is. It refuses to show a tail or a fuzzy sort of coma around so it's a misbehaving comet, when in fact he had discovered a planet. All right. Then it was time to name the thing. Well, being like a good scientific researcher, you name it after like the people who are funding your research. So he named it after George. And so for about 50 years or so, if you look at the textbooks of the day, there was the list of planets: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Saturn, and George. Right? There it was, George. So no one had ever named a planet before. So you knew that was wrong, but you didn't know why it was wrong. And they finally figured out, okay, planets are named after Roman gods or goddesses. So we got to back out of that one. But the British were the most powerful force in the world, economically, politically, culturally, militaristically. So you don't want to really piss them off. So if you're going to concede a Roman name for the planet, you got to give something up. So up until then, the tradition for naming planet moons has been to name the moon after an assorted Greek character in the life of the Greek counterpart to the Roman god after whom the planet's named. In other words, take Jupiter for a moment. One of Jupiter's moons is Ganymede. Ganymede was the manservant for Zeus. And Zeus is the Greek counterpart to the Roman Jupiter. Okay, got that? Yeah, that's how that works. That's to give an homage to the Greek and Roman history that fills the skies. Uranus, the planet discovered by Herschel, is the only exception to this rule. The moons of Uranus are named for assorted characters, fictional characters in Shakespearean literature. The only exception. It's kind of cool. So you look at the moon names of Uranus, it's like Puck, Oberon,
Hello. हमने वाला गांधी माइक को नहीं तो भाई मुझे भेज दे रोक दे क्यों रुकी वो यहाँ पे जब अड़दा है ना उसमें कहीं भुटकी रहा है हाँ माइक ऑफ करना हमने इसलिए हमने माइक desktop audio नहीं वो तो नहीं है मैं स्टार्टिंग में आ रहा हूँ स्टूडियो
Portia, a lot of characters from A Midsummer's Night Dream. Give me a few more. Just name one, and probably I got a moon for you. Titania, that's right. And there's another one with an Aenia. Titania. Helena is a Helena. Yeah, so we got moons all from them. All right. Now, so the reason I'm taking you down this circuitous path is because now you have this new planet, Uranus, farther away than the then farthest most planet, Saturn. And they said, well, let's track its orbit. Slow moving though it is, you can still check its orbit. They found out, it's